the 10th. It's Monday, and it's several things. It's the 10th day of Vlogmas. It is our first day of finals week here at the university. I have a final at 8 a.m. for my physics majors class, and it is also our departmental potluck day. So my car smells like chili. And it's delicious smelling. So we've got all those things going on this morning, and I've got some grading to do. I've got to print some patterns out because I've got the Midwinter Moon Mystery Knit Along that started on Friday. I've also got all the bonus patterns that Two Hearts Crochet dropped. I want to print those out, and then yeah, that's pretty much how our day is going to go. Most of my grading is caught up, fortunately. All I have to do is grade what they turn in today. Then we will have our potluck, which is usually really delicious because lots of people are great cooks in our department. And then last but not least, I'm going to go home and start chipping away at that craft room that I need to straighten up. I told myself I would put it on a timer and I would work for an hour, and then I would take a break, and then I would work for another hour, and then I would take a break, and I think I'm more productive when I do that. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at today. So let's get started with Vlogmas Day. Well, I'm done with my modern physics final, and our grants person, or our external funding person in the College of Natural Science and Math brought us some treats to help us get through finals. So we've got a chocolate-covered pretzel stick. And looks like a couple of chocolate-dipped spoons to stir our hot chocolate with, so I'll take those home and use those in my hot chocolate. So, updating my password, as you can see, and I'm going to work on doing a little bit of grading, and then our potluck is at 11 o'clock, so about 45 minutes, and my stomach is smelling all that good food, going, yeah, come on, let's eat. I just wanted to share, I make my students do this service learning project, and we've talked about that before, and I've been a little bit discouraged with a couple of my students because they just seem so strident and so unwilling to accept that not everybody can pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or just seem like they think that, you know, just very hard-edged. And I just read one of their reflection papers, and it made me believe that they finally have cracked that shell a little bit. It wasn't because of the work with the kids in the service learning project, but because they got partnered with a student who has struggled in life, who has really struggled, and through the course of working on the project together, they had gotten to become friends and gotten to know each other and shared experiences, and I think that was the value of the learning. In fact, that's what the student that wrote the reflection said it was, that they had that open, and he said, you know, thank you at the end. He put, you know, I didn't want to do this project at first, but he said, thank you for making me do this, and thank you for letting me share this experience, because I think it's one that's going to change my way of thinking definitely going forward. So that's why we teach, right? That's why we teach. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep on grading so that if nothing else, I accomplish my goal for the semester right there. So kinder, more empathetic people in the world are never a bad thing.
Vindaloo.
Let me see. Show it to me.
Okay.
I'm videoing, so.
You are?
Yeah, I'm doing my Vlogmas for my farm channel. Pork vindaloo. What is vindaloo?
It's Indian Portuguese, so it's got vinegar, ginger, garlic, coriander, cumin, all the spices.
Is it spicy, hot?
No, I've mellowed it down.
Oh.
Actually, it's supposed to be spicy, but I've kind of kept it.
Cool, very good. Pork vindaloo.
And rice.
Yum, yum,
It
yum.
goes with the rice.
Good deal. We got lots of good food here. Oh, my chili got moved, it looks like, so that's good.
What's the meat?
Deer meat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was hoping.
Look at all these. Who brought all those?
Rice is all cute. That's good.
Yeah, looks good. Yummy, yummy. Look at the desserts.
Is that for?
That's for taking home. Somebody figured it out. I'm doing a vlog for my farm channel. This is Scott. He's the planetarium director. This is Dr. Fred. Let's see your fabulous tie. Santa playing golf. Okay.
Yep. That one's tame. It doesn't light up. No, this one doesn't light up. I didn't wear my other shirt today.
So we're getting ready for our, oh, and there's Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy. And our excellent office worker. Hey. So we are.
Who are we beaming in?
We are, huh?
Who are we beaming in?
We're not beaming in anyone. I'm doing Vlogmas for my farm channel. So you're going to be on my vlog
I'm
today.
a YouTube star now.
Yay! Yay!
Should I get my Christmas sport coat, so to speak?
You should. Go get your Christmas sport coat. That is a fabulous Christmas sport coat. Well, let's get up and just explore the full Christmassiness of that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Where did you come up with that?
Found it on a clearance in Belk one day.
So you brought soup, but you didn't bring a crock pot.
I brought a microwave and a container just big enough to fit.
No, you
got
didn't
some-
bring the microwave.
some-
The microwave was already here. What kind of soup is it?
Moroccan eggplant soup.
Ooh, it smells really good.
Really good. It's really yummy.
It's not baba ganoush, though, right?
No, it's not pop.
Did I ever tell you about my camping trip with all the vegans?
No.
Don't go camping with vegans. I know you're vegan. Don't go camping with vegans because they'll feed you baba ganoush and that's all. And you just really want a s'more.
Yeah,
You
but
can have s'mores.
hold on now.
This is Jeremy. He's one of my former students and he's working for us again. And he's vegan and we were just talking about not going camping with vegans. But he corrected me
Not
that you
baba
could
ganoush
have
making vegans.
you could have vegan s'mores. So I stand corrected.
I think the graham crackers.
I don't know.
Me neither. I figured this out like one day at a time.
Have you burst into flames yet from eating them? We're probably okay then.
Okay.
And I have nothing against vegans. I just myself can't do it because of cheese.
That was the hardest one to give up.
But cheese. Did you make that yourself?
No. It's a fresh market specialty.
Oh.
From down in
See,
the
you
rock.
should have said yes because it was wrapped in foil and not the package, Andy. You got to learn to lie.
Yeah. I'm a bad liar.
That looks good though.
Yeah.
It looks
Thanks.
homemade. It looks delicious.
This is cranberry walnut stuff. If people are not into the whole gingerbread thing.
Is that what that is?
No, that's what this is.
Oh, okay.
This is
What's
like-
that? That looks like a crumble.
That I don't know. Somebody else brought that.
The chickpeas, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Very good.
Yes.
I like that little cookie too.
This little guy here?
Yeah, that's nice.
I needed to get a smaller one because I've got the big ones like you've got with the chili, but it was too much for this little guy. So.
Yeah, yeah.
A little
It's
4
good to have.
quarter.
It's good to have a variety.
Then they have a little cute 2/4.
I've got one of
I left my
those.
spoon down.
I've got one of those. Yeah. Azita actually gave me one of those for Christmas a couple of years ago to put cheese in.
Oh, for cheese dip.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. What you got, Scott?
Well, this is store-bought naan here, but that's dal makhani,
What's that?
which is basically lentils and beans. Mm-hmm. And then on the bottom of this, I've got some tandoori chicken.
Oh, yummy. Sounds delicious. Who brought this?
Yeah,
We were gonna have
I
too
brought
much
those
rice.
chutneys.
Oh,
We
cool.
have so much rice.
I was
Very good. I had mango chutney. I should have brought that. Very good. Looks, smells delicious. And then here's my chili. That's gonna be hotter than a blaze. Oh, you raised the chicken yourself, did you? No, I didn't give her the chicken. She raised it herself.
That's why I put the.
Yum, 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 yum. Somebody smartly thought to bring to-go boxes to the luncheon, so now I have supper and probably lunch tomorrow. On the downside, Ms Betsy called me and her old dog Susie is not doing very well. So I'm going to go by there and see if I can't help her for a few minutes with Susie. Susie was a stray that showed up after the Adkins tornado, and she was terrified of everybody except Ms Betsy. And apparently she is not doing very well this morning, so she would be about... She was an adult dog when she showed up, and she's a large dog, like a large golden retriever mix. She's at least 12 or 13 years old, so because the tornado was 10 years ago. So anyway, I'm going to go by there and help her and see if we can't help. Well, there's Miss Susie, and I'm standing over here because Susie has never trusted anyone but Miss Betsy. She showed up here after the Adkins tornado, and Miss Betsy took her in, and she went for a year before she'd let Miss Betsy pet her. But she trusts Miss Betsy now, but she doesn't trust anybody else. So I'm going to wait over here while Miss Betsy puts the food I picked up for her on a paper plate. Like I said, you know, we know she's getting older, but you do everything you can for them, right? We're waiting inside to see if Susie will eat her food, so I'm going to let Miss Betsy tell me about some of her decorations. So you can start with your snowmen.
The snowman my mother made for my sister and me back years and years ago. She loved to knit things, and she thought that way we could keep them every Christmas. So they're out and up on the mantle.
Okay, what about this piece of cross stitch?
I bought that one time at a craft fair, and I've been to the craft fair 2 or 3 times, and I decided that if it kept being there, then it meant I was supposed to buy that.
There you go.
And it reminds me of the Night Before Christmas book.
Yeah, so you said where did the little houses come from?
Oh, Brian, my son, did the church. It reminds me of the Catholic Church. And my daughter did the school. And they were made in Miss Donaldson's art class.
Oh, very good. All right.
They normally reside on the mantle in the other room, but they've had to be moved because I have some ornaments in there.
Oh, okay. And this is your special treat you got yourself.
Yes,
Back for
my
your-
gift. My gift.
Yeah.
And,
Your little
the flea
teeny tiny
market,
punch cup.
tiny
That's so
little-
teeny. I love
my
that.
tiny little tea set.
Cool.
And everything else up there is either, most of these tiny vases are from Miss Jones, estate sale. I had her daughter when I taught at Wonderview. And the larger ones, though, are from Marva.
Oh, yes. We love Marva.
We do.
Oh, cool. So tell us about your punch bowls.
My punch bowls are just,
Now, is this the one you got up at the Pottsville flea market?
yes.
Okay.
That's the one from Pottsville. And the bowl that Deborah gave me sits, that's my place of honor. You get on this sideboard. The sideboard was my grandmother.
Oh, wow. Let me back up where I get the whole sideboard.
And it has, well, I'm getting your way.
Oh, you're fine. Oh.
It
Oh, don't worry about that.
It has, the top has dishes from my mother.
Okay.
For her wedding presents.
Oh, those were her wedding presents.
were her wedding
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then the little tiny ones there came from our perfect auction. that
Oh,
we
yes.
went to.
Yes,
The
yes.
little tiny that have the pink on them came from
Cool.
that.
Very good. That was a good auction.
Yes, it was. Yes, the best.
And you got your magnolia plates. 'Cause you love magnolias.
yes, but do not look at the table.
Oh, I won't. No, ma'am.
I still have clothes out.
Oh, and you got some more punch bowls over here.
Yes, now this one,
You like punch bowls like I like dessert plate sets.
this does not really go here.
Don't worry about it.
This was from an auction on Pea Ridge out by Deborah's.
Oh,
way.
okay.
And it matches
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
And this one was from the two sisters at Alma.
Oh,
That
yeah.
time-
Yeah.
Yes, we got that.
Now, did that have a stand with it?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't have a stand.
Oh, but that was the one you got the cups and everything
Yes.
with. Okay.
And then that's from Shirley Pickles, our
Oh,
former teacher.
yes.
That's in that. The other two are just some I picked up on a sale somewhere
Cool.
a long time ago. The bridal basket is either my mother's or the one that was in this house, because we have 2 of them, and my sister borrowed them for her
they're-
daughter's
they're
wedding.
just alike?
And they're just alike.
Oh, wow. What about the little table? That's pretty.
Oh, that came from a closeout at an antique shop in Russellville a long, long time ago.
Tell us about these little sweet things.
Those are 3 of them were. Let's see, it's these 3 were on our Christmas tree when my sister and I were growing up, and when my mother passed away, we found those. My sister found these to go with them.
Okay.
There is one elf that is original to when I was a little girl,
Oh, uh-huh.
and then we have the Santa. Had him a long time.
Mm-hmm.
His face is kind of wax, I think.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then there's a picture of the house.
There's a picture. How old is that picture?
That picture I found in the lady who lived here, Dr. Montgomery's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
had it, and that was back, I think, when they added the upstairs in 1914, it's a little bit older than that.
Okay.
And now there are no trees left except the one on the left side.
Okay.
And they all blew down the storm. but the house is fixed now on the front like it was originally.
Yeah, and we're very glad for that.
And I have a swing, although it doesn't look just like Miss Lucille's, but I do have a swing that's back
Yeah.
behind it. And I have wicker rockers that have been on retirement. Well, I guess they've just been on vacation
Yeah,
for
so
2
the-
years until I got the porch fixed.
So this kitchen was actually added on later then, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The original part of the house, the 1871, is from the front porch, when it was a one-story, from the front porch back to where that kitchen was added on.
Okay, and then they added the second floor,
Mhm.
or they added the kitchen first.
And they had, the upstairs came first.
Okay. And then they had the kitchen.
And then they had the kitchen.
Okay, this is Miss Betsy's magnolia tree. Give you some perspective. That's her garage, a 3-car garage. And then that's the magnolia tree that she brought the limbs off of yesterday. So it's pretty big, it's pretty old. And then it grows out over the sidewalk, but they trim it up so they can walk under it. Which I think is cool. We'll walk up closer to it. So yeah, there it is. Walk underneath it, big old branch there. So this is Miss Hayes' over century old magnolia. This is Dr. Montgomery's. Did they pour that sidewalk when he lived here? Is that why it's there?
I think that they did part of it when he was here, just a little bit.
Mhm.
That worst part, I think.
Yeah. So when was he here? Do you know what years he lived here?
He came, 1914 was when they added the top story, but he already lived here then. And it's in the history of it, somewhere where he actually bought it.
Mm-hmm.
It traces it back to when he owned the house over there. He
Yeah.
owned the one back behind where the 2 sisters live.
Mm-hmm.
And
So he owned what house over there? This house?
where the garage was.
Oh, okay. So it's not there anymore.
No,
Okay.
no. But I have pieces of it.
Oh, you have pieces of it. Okay. What about the house on the corner? You said you used to live in that when you were a little girl.
Yes, my mother and dad rented the house.
Do you know about how old it is?
It's the Cleveland house. That's in the sidewalk too. It's not as old as this, but I do have it in my book, I think.
Mhm.
My little history book thing.
And then you said the hotel, which is the blue house down here,
ma'am.
is newer than this house too. It's still
Yes.
old, but it's newer.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the
Now,
Stein Hotel.
and so that's where the hotel was, and then did the depot used to be on this side of the railroad tracks?
At one time, I think it was on. Van Allen told me that it wasn't always right there, so I'd have to ask him exactly.
Seems like I
where it
remember
was.
that from that walking
I
tour
think
that we
so.
did.
I think she did say that. But this one is.
Now the Catholic Church is the oldest church in town, right?
It should be now.
Yeah.
There's one that was moved. Well, but it was moved from. Oh, they moved it to Russell from Fort Moses.
Oh, okay.
And there was a house at the end of this.
So now
Let me pick.
you said what about the house? They moved a house from Gallorock, which is where the original town was, down on the river.
Down on the river.
And it used to be on that corner?
It used to be down where the chicken plant is now.
Okay.
On that side of the road, straight ahead, and they numbered the pieces, the boards, and reassembled it down on that side.
So house by numbers.
Yes, that's by numbers. Yes, a kit.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Susie has eaten both of her cans of food, so that's good news.
Yeah, that is.
And she's licked the plate clean, so that's good news. But anyway, she's laying now back here by the well house. So you said what about the well house?
It's original to the house, and it did have an old smokehouse back behind it, but that was long gone just about when we got the house. But the well is still usable, and it's where we had there's a little concrete slab, that piece of it left, where the lady, Dr. Montgomery's daughter's husband, his son-in-law, when he was a World War I veteran, and he would, every night that we would come down, he would get water from the well in his big can, and he would go water the moss roses out in front of the house. And he always told us to stand right there, and he put that icy well water on our feet, which we thought was just wonderful.
Especially in
Now,
summer, yeah.
Yes.
Now
And
we'd be like,
probably
oh, let's go.
freeze, you know, or there would probably be some warning against using water like that. But we always look forward to that because
Yeah.
he was very good at telling us stories about the house. Some were not exactly true to fact.
A little embellished.
Yes, and but he was, they had no children, so Jane and I were their children.
Oh, cool.
And so we enjoyed that part.
Yeah. So when did you and your husband buy this house?
In 1994.
Okay, and that was after Miss Lucille passed away.
Yes. And after her other sister had moved.
Okay. So, well, it's got a good home. It's got a good home. You've taken good care of it and kept it in good shape. So, y'all had to do a bunch of work on it, though. You said, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
And y'all did it all mostly yourselves,
Yes,
didn't
we
you?
did. And we have pictures to prove it.
That's awesome, though. A lot of good memories then.
Yes. Part of it had no floors. It was in, well...
Disrepair.
Yes, disrepair. Yes. Great disrepair.
But now it looks beautiful. So.
Well, and when we can get our other coat of paint on there, we'll be just
Yes.
fine.
Well, we'll have to.
But we're satisfied with the floor right now.
Yes.
And
yes.
those, when he redid, the construction company did the tops of the columns downstairs, he did have those custom made to match exactly with the original and the ones that are on the upper story.
Well, it looks like it matches good. Now we just got to get rid of its chicken pox.
Yes, it needs its pox too. Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, now that Susie's eating, I think I'm gonna go on to the house.
And then she had one. Well, then when that tree sprang up, she thought that might be one, but I really don't
I
think
think
it is.
that's a China
I
berry
think
tree.
it
I'd
is.
have to see the
Yeah.
leaves. We used to have one out behind that old house that's fallen down, and my grandma would take the beads or the berries and string them and make necklaces and dye them
Oh my!
with rit dye and make necklaces out of them.
We used to have a lot in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
so
and
I
there's one
think it's
actually
probably-
down the road. I noticed going toward the old feed mill. There's one there. I guess it's a wild one that
Oh, I bet
escaped.
it is.
I haven't seen one of those in forever. So, cool. China berry tree. I got a sweet Christmas card from one of my podcast viewers, Patsy. Thank you for the beautiful card. I love polar bears. They're some of my favorites. So, thank you so much. I haven't seen a Christmas seal in forever. I love that. Isn't that the cutest little thing with all the little woodland creatures on it? That's so sweet. And I love this Christmas card. So thank you. This is Sparky136 or also Patsy. So I appreciate the Christmas card. And I will put it in there with my other Christmas cards on my old kitchen cabinet. Miss Barn Kitty is feeling better, she says. Hi, kitty, kitty, kitty. Y'all ready to eat? Okay, I got you a bag of food. Come on, Willie, let's go. Run, 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 run. I see you. Yes, you're a good boy. Yes. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a mess. You're a big old mess. You ready to go in, Feathers? Come on. That sun feel good. Does that sun feel good on that boy? Huh? Yes, that sun feel good. Oh, that feels good. Just scratch, scratch. Just scratch, scratch. Kitty, kitty. Come on, move. Go on. Go. You're leading the way. I see you. Yeah. I see you. Kitty, kitty. What are you doing? Nah, yeah, you're feeling better. You're feeling better. Good. You go, kitty. You go, kitty. Yeah, you go, kitty. Guys. How are you guys? Are you staying warm? Yeah, you're staying warm. Yeah. Pretty babies. Are you leading the way? Let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Kitty. Come on, let's go. Okay, I'm going this way. I'm going this way. I'm going this way. Well, you may or may not recognize this room as my crafting room where I normally record my podcasts, but I am in here trying to make sense of the mess that I made yesterday, or at least to start to try to make sense of the mess that I made yesterday when I was looking for my box of cutters, which I haven't found yet, but I'm not giving up. Coming from a mom who crafted a lot, and I inherited all of her stuff, and I also like to do all the crafts, as y'all well know. I have a lot of stuff. I never throw anything away, basically, and I suppose that's hoarding behavior, but oh well. Like, I have all of these cans that my friend Carol got me. They're nice big size cans that I could do something with, like make some luminaries or something out of. I probably should throw them away, but I'm not going to. Or I could wrap fabric around them and make storage cans or something. Willie is not happy that he's shut out, but I absolutely am not going to let him in here right now because it is too big of a mess. I have an old horse collar that I found in the old house. And then I have things that are just sentimental. Like I ran across, I don't know if you can, oh, can you see that? Let me turn it around where you can put a little bit of light on it. This is, I don't know how well you can see that. That's one of my mama's labels that she would sew into whatever she made for me. Okay, it's one of my mama's sewing labels. I'm not going to throw that away. No way in hell. Am I going to? Well, you may or may not recognize where I'm at right now as the room that I normally podcast in. I'm sitting on the floor. Normally I'm sitting right up there by my sewing machine, but I'm sitting on the floor right now straightening up the giant mess that I made yesterday when I got mad when I couldn't find my box of hand pruners. It needed straightening up anyway because I have so much stuff. And, you know, there's a part of me that says, oh, you should just get rid of some of this stuff. But, you know, no, I'm not going to because I like to repurpose stuff and reuse stuff. Like my friend that used to work at a restaurant got me a whole bunch of these big cans. They're all cleaned out. They're nice big cans. You know, there's a lot of things I could do with this. I could make luminaries for Halloween or Christmas, you know, by punching holes in them with the metal punch, or I could put fabric around them and use them for storage. They're not bothering anyone. They're not in my way, so they get to stay. I found an old horse collar that I found at the old house, you know, down the road. I found this book, which I've been looking for, The Physics of Radiation Therapy. It's a book that Dr. Speed gave me when I worked at the cancer clinic as the physicist, or well, the dosimetrist. I wasn't the physicist. As the dosimetrist for the machine, and so I could learn a little bit about it. So I'm keeping this because, you know, first of all, it was a gift, and second of all, I find this stuff really interesting, and third of all, it's still the same text, although an updated edition that's used today. Another thing that I found while I was looking around was, I don't know how well you can see that, that's one of my mom's labels. That's one of the labels that she would sew into clothes that she would make for me or somebody else. I'm not throwing that away. No. And yeah, I mean, there ain't no Swedish death cleaning going on up in this house. I'll just tell you for a fact, because I like my stuff. Clearly, or I'd be able to find some things. But anyway, so I'm straightening up and doing a little bit. I told myself I would work in here for 20 minutes, and I've made it over an hour. And I'm not feeling too frustrated yet, so I'm going to keep on pushing and see how much I can get done. I know I won't get everything the way I want it tonight, but I can at least make a start, right? So that's what I'm going to do. In case you're wondering why I decided to host a make-along for next year called the Kidder Getter Done, let me present Exhibit A to you. In my lap, which were in this milk crate here, are an assembly of kits that are simply fabric art of some kind. So we have, like, this is a very old one that my mom bought years and years ago. I think it came from Alco, when we had an Alco. And she made several of these, and this is the last one. And I think he's precious. So I want to make him. I think he's adorable and precious. He is satin stitched. You put Wonder Under on the pieces, and then you satin stitch around them. So I think he's adorable, and I want to make him. Also, I bought, you know, you saw my little reindeer that was chenille. Well, these are the cousins to that, the Frosty Trios, of which are chili trios. These were probably on clearance sale, which is why I have them. I'm a sucker for clearance. Some other things between me and my mom, we ended up with like this little moose here. And we must have really liked these guys because, where's the other set? We have 2 sets of them. The Pudgy Bunnies. Plus, I have a set I've already made. These were one of the kits that you could order from that crafting book club that I talked about that my mom and I were in for a period of time. I have a set that I've already made in my Easter decorations. Plus, we have 2 more sets here. This is actually the leftovers from a snowman that I made earlier. I made him this last, I put him in the fair last year, I believe. So, that's the leftovers from him, or maybe it was this year. I don't remember. I've got to look him up. I can't remember. But at any rate, I put him in the fair. I think I made him last year and put him in the fair a year ago. I can't remember. This is a kit my mom bought me years ago. It's a little guardian angel kit, and I never made it. This is a little snowman kit. These are little ornament kits, they're little chenille stem ornament kits. Got a bunch of those. Those are probably on clearance. And my mom and I got them. This is a nativity scene that you cut out of the fabric panel and stuff. This is you decorate the little banner with sequins. Stocking kit. Tons of fabric appliques, some of which have been used, but some of which haven't. Back when the applique sweatshirts with the fabric paint on them were a thing. And then these are ribbon weave appliques. I guess you applique part of them on and then like you weave the center of the sunflower. Those I think came from a bulk bag of craft supplies. But like these guys have never been used. These are all still in here. All the pieces are cut out. You fuse them onto whatever and then you make them. So those would make adorable pillows, things like that. This is a kit that I bought at the thrift store for 50 cents. 4th of July kit. No-sew fabric appliques. And then these are kits that I got at the thrift store for 25 cents a piece. This is just a pattern, but this is the kit to make the little ornaments here. They're just cut out and fused together or glued together, and then you draw, I guess you do the long stitch on them to make them look like blanket stitch. And then this is the country hen kit, or at least the pattern, because there's some fabric in here that doesn't look like it goes with the kit, but at least it's got the pattern. This is why. These are not even the ones that I pull that I want to make sooner rather than later. Little pumpkin basket, felt pumpkin basket. Black kitty cat pattern. I got this as Michael's in the year 2000. It was on 90% off sale, so I paid $1.50 for this kit. It's got all the eyes and the fabric and all the floss and everything in it to make the little cat. And then this one is also from Michael's. I think I paid $2 for it. It's a couple of beavers dressed in their winter finery. This is why. This is why I'm hosting the Kidder Get Her Done. This right here. That doesn't even delve into the 2 boxes of needlework kits I have and the quilt kits that are behind me somewhere in a basket. Oh, here's 1 crate of quilt kits, and then I have another basket of quilt kits. This is why. Well, here is part of my quilt kits. I used to live around the corner from the quilt store, so I bought this rooster. Oh, well, I'm not really set up where you can see him very good. There's a rooster. There's a little teddy bear. This actually I got in a bag of craft supplies from the thrift store. It's never been opened. I've got a pattern for this kitty cat that somebody gave me. This is a blown up pattern. And I don't know if I've got the whole thing on here, but what it is it's a piecework applique of a rooster. And you can make him very, very colorful by making his tail pieces. So I blew it up so that it was 1 inch, 1 square on the grid that you can barely make out was equal to 1 inch. So this is the size that it was supposed to be. I blew that up. This is the kit for the little snowman that I want to cut the stars off of. And there's enough fabric in here that I could try to make those stars again, probably. Well, I probably don't have enough fabric to make them all again, and none of them are good. So I'm probably going to end up just going ahead and cutting that off. But anyway, so yeah, I have big dreams, right? I bought some patterns from the quilt shop. There's little pumpkins on a fence. I love this one. I really would love to make this one someday. There's a little witch and a cat and a pumpkin and just a pumpkin patch and then an owl. It's kind of dark in here tonight. This one's also really pretty. It's cardinals. We've discussed how I'm not good at applique, right? So of course I bought this one with all the animals that you would applique. Oh gosh. Anyway, so yeah, and then turkey for Thanksgiving. Now he's patchwork, so I might actually try to, I don't know. Anyway, then and there's other ones in here. I won't bore you with all of them, but these are what I wanted to show you because I've actually made one of these a long time ago. They're called rumpled quilt skins, and they're stuffed animals that are made out of quilted. You can either quilt them, so you've got the little lion where you would, it was batik fabric, so you just sewed quilting designs on him, or you have the little giraffe who's patchwork, and then you have the little hexie turtle. And then you have the little elephant again who lets you practice your free motion quilting. Those are, and I made the little lion actually one time. I think I've still got him somewhere, but I made the little lion. And then of course, the puppy. And he is a mosaic quilt, so you make all different kinds of shapes, and I suspect it's paper piecing, but he's cute. Oh, me. I dream big. You gotta give me credit for having ambition, right? Well, Muffins is conked out from watching me work in the craft room here, and Simon's sitting on the table wanting some attention, so I think I'm going to call it a night tonight. I just got a message from Ms Betsy that Susie ate some more, so that's a good sign. Anyway, sorry this Vlogmas has been a little all over the place today, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, be good to each other and take care of each other. And what, Muffins? Muffins. Peace out, y'all. Bye.